friends, and welcome to my crafty space. If this is your first time here, my name is Crystal Idunyate, and this is a space where I share my memory keeping projects and processes with all of you. Today, I'm really excited because I am going to be sharing a flip through of this completed traveler's notebook, which actually is 2 traveler's notebooks in here, but we'll flip through both of them because it's all one big massive project. So this was an album or albums that I made to document a trip that my husband and I went on last spring with his twin brother and my sister-in-law. We went to Florida to go to Universal Studios and Disney for the boys' 30th birthday. So without further ado, let's just open this thing up and get started. As a side note, it is really fat and this didn't close very well. That is why it's tied shut, because this little elastic wasn't doing it for me. So I just tie it. I don't care. It works fine. Okay, so these are the 2 notebooks. Now, both of these I made myself. The books, the actual like traveler's notebooks, and I just made them with like scrapbook paper, and then inside I used just regular printer paper, and then I glued my stuff to them. So let me just pull these both out and set aside the cover. This cover is from oh gosh, who's it from? It's a Heidi Swap cover. I got it at Joann's over like at Christmas time, and yeah, it's cool. It has like a hard spine, so it really fits one of these super nice and 2 of them not as great, but it works. It's okay. All right, so let's start with the beginning of the trip. So in here, the first thing I do in my albums is I always, especially for travel albums, I should say, I get stamps from Studio Calico that are like state stamps, or if it's something that's overseas, they also have different countries. So I used this Florida stamp to stamp out my title with the dates that we were there. So, and that's it. That's all I do for the inside cover. And then we started with our flight. We flew out of the airport here in Flint, Michigan to go down to Orlando. And it's a funny story is that when we were in the airport, they lost power. So we actually couldn't even go through security until like 5 minutes before our plane boarded. And it was all one big fiasco. So for this page, I used this adventure log journaling card that is from In a Creative Bubble. It's one of her like travel sets. And then I have this For the Love of Story is a stamp from Allie Edwards from like a past Stories by the Month kit. Up and Away Adventure Awaits is from a flight themed Studio Calico stamp set. And then this paper down here, it says, Oh, the Places We Go, I believe is Elle Studio. They did like a traveler's notebook travel collection not too long ago. Actually, it was probably a long time ago because I got it on super sale, and yeah, that's where that came from. When I am doing travel notebooks, you're going to notice a theme, and that is that I generally pick out one large photo, and then I'll do like a paper on the other side, or smaller paper or smaller photos on the other side, flips on the other side. But I generally always have one big photo just because I think it helps draw your eye. So once we landed in Florida, we went to Chick-fil-A. It's one of our favorite restaurants or fast food restaurants. And for the longest time, we didn't have any near us here. So the first time Aaron and I ever went to Chick-fil-A was in Florida. And then when we went this summer with my brother and sister-in-law, it was their first time going. So that was really fun. So this picture is a favorite because, I mean, look at that kid's face. He like is a food monger. Then I made this embellishment using sticker paper and then a stamp set from Elle Studio. This location is also a stamp. that came from Elle Studio. I just stamped it and fussy cut it out and then added on my alphabet stickers. I also am a big fan of tabs for flip-ups. And these ones came from Illustrated Faith. I have like a ton of them because they discontinued them at Michael's, so I got a bunch on sale. So that's a picture of me, and then this flips up. This is a journaling card I created using a stamp set from In a Creative Bubble, so it's a digital stamp set called Tasty. I don't believe that she still has it. I think it's discontinued or retired, I guess is what you would call that. And then this back paper I actually made digitally as well using the same stamp set, the Tasty. And I just repeat stamped all over a canvas and then made it all gray so it would blend into the background. And I really like how it turned out. It's super cool. It's one of my favorite things to do with digital stamps. Then I've got this page here, which is Erin and I in front of the Universal like world symbol. These were from a a In a Creative Bubble travel set. I printed them out. It was on one 4x6 card, and I just fussy cut them out and then punched the holes, put some little twine in them just for like texture, and stuck them behind this photo. These actually, they don't come out, which is funny because I normally make these come out, so it just it gets a little confusing, but I don't care, whatever. So it's just decoration, and I have a tiny little bit of journaling down in the bottom. This I fussy cut out of a card from In a Creative Bubble. I believe the kit was something like Out and About. No, it wasn't Out and About. It might have been Local Living, potentially, or In the City, or something along those lines. That's where that came from. And, okay, so sometimes when I have a photo that I want to see more of it than will fit in just the 4x6, I will just go ahead and make it bigger and then trim it off and put the majority of it on one side and then a little portion of it on the other. It works just fine. I don't care about the seam. Like, that does not bother me. So that's that. Then I talked about our day at the CityWalk in Universal. So we went the first night just to go like see it before going to Universal the second day. Went in some shops, and we got a picture of the boys with the ridiculous like happy birthday cakes on their heads, the hats. And then this was a journaling card from In a Creative Bubble as well. I believe, yes, that the card is a 4x6, so it really only goes to there, not 4x6, a 3x4. So it only goes to here. I edited this to fit the entire page, and when I did that, I had enough room to put a fourth one down. So literally, I just grabbed this right here and copied it and then moved it down here. Since I couldn't use the same font for the 4, so like there was a 1, 2, 3, and then this font would have been different, I just erased all of them and typed it in myself so that it would all match and be cohesive. So that's that. These are just some alphabet stamps, I believe from Kelly Perky that I used to just type out "We're so silly," and then puffy heart or puffy stars. The star paper is from Freckled Fawn. They do like a Traveler's Notebook paper subscription that I like to get because I use the papers in these books. That night we went to Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, which is amazing. It's so good if you like any kind of seafood at all. It was delicious. So we went there. Again, this paper is from the Freckled Fawn. Just some stamps down here. I don't remember where these are from. Maybe, I want to say Studio Calico, but that could be wrong. It could be Elle Studio. Actually, I think it's Elle Studio. But that stamp set's not available anymore anyway. And then, this is just like our highlights from it. Again, this card was In a Creative Bubble. It was a 3x4, and I just altered it to make it into a 4x8 instead. Added some puffy hearts for dimension and called that one good. This one was before we went home. We just snapped a picture of the Universal symbol with the sunset behind it. I loved this picture. I stamped this view up here that was from a Feed Your Craft stamp set, threw a heart on there, just kept it really simple because the picture is really, really pretty. And then this one that says Here and There, this was from Studio Calico's travel set last year. Yeah, so that's that. The So Much Fun is from In a Creative Bubble. And then we're on to the next day. So this is the day we went to Universal, which is ultimately the reason that we went to Florida at all, because we are all 4 of us ridiculous Harry Potter fans. I think I was the first fan, just gonna throw that out there. And then when Aaron and I were dating or married, I can't remember when, we were probably dating at the time, I talked him into reading the books. He had only ever seen the movies. So I talked him into the books, he read the books and was obsessed. So then he got his brother and his older sister, who's not with us, but to read all the books and see all the movies, and then they became obsessed. And so at this point, the biggest super fan of us all is most likely Alex, my brother-in-law, because at this point, I think he has listened to the series like 40 times, like listened to the audiobooks, the entire series of audiobooks like 40 times. Me, I started reading them when I was in middle school, and I used to get the books on cassette tapes, and I would go to sleep at night listening to them. So I've listened to them a lot too, but he's got me beat at now he's got me beat. Also, we did bring Jonah with us to the park because at this time he was still nursing, so I couldn't be apart from him for too long. So he came with us and Isabella stayed with my parents. Okay, let's get back to this. So this right here, I printed the whole thing on photo paper just because I wanted the color of this card to be true to what it was. And this came from Feed Your Craft, and I do believe that this one is from Local Living, the collection. A lot of the Feed Your Craft ones are still available in digital form, so it's worth looking into if you like the products that I'm using here. So this is a picture of us walking from our hotel to the park, and then a picture of us in front of the park entrance. And then this part flips open. Let me make sure you can see that. Yep. To show the map of the parks. So for Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. I like including maps because the parks change. So when we went, the Hagrid ride was not yet open. I don't even think it's on here at all. So it was not open yet. So if we ever go again, the map will already be different, and that's kind of cool to remember. Also, you'll notice that we all dressed according to our houses. Something really cool about us is that we are all 4 in a different house. So I am a Slytherin, and I'm very proud of it. My husband is a Hufflepuff. My brother-in-law is a Gryffindor, and my sister-in-law is a Ravenclaw. So yeah, it's really fun. We got a lot of comments about that while we were here. Okay, so then, actually, let me make sure that's all I got. This is a digital stamp, and this was Elle Studio. Okay, so then this is us in Diagon Alley. So you can see the bank in the background. So this Potterhead stamp was a digital stamp, so it's printed on the photo. That came from In a Creative Bubble. But then Making Magical Memories was from a stamp set from Kelly Perky. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'll show you. Unfortunately, it is no longer in stock. So it came from this one, right? Yes. Making Magic, which I also used a lot in my Disney one. Yeah, so that I stamped on. This digital page was from In a Creative Bubble, so she has a couple of Harry Potter collections on her website, and I'm pretty sure I have them all because, like I said, we're super fans. And then I threw little puffy hearts next to each of the houses down here according to their colors, just to signify that we are all a different house. Okay, so then this page is in Ollivander's shop. I used this stamp set, which is also Kelly Perky. It was called 9 3/4. It is no longer in stock. However, I don't know what is still in stock as of today, but this week, Kelly just did a big release of a bunch of Harry Potter product, and of course I got my hands on it. But if you're looking for some stamps that are specific to Harry Potter, I know she's got them in her store right now. So this page, it says, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light, from Albus Dumbledore. This is also in a creative bubble, same thing. This little card thing right here, when you rode the Gringotts ride at Universal, they give you this little like card sort of deal, like marketing card, that you can go and purchase a picture afterwards, and it comes in this little like envelope. So I kept the envelope and decided to put it in here as a way of storing more photos. So inside I've got this literally just a tag from something we bought. So there's a tag. And then I've got some extra photos of us from the store and the park. It's us, and then there's this like super awesome picture that my sister-in-law took. I love it. I really thought about making this a big one for me, but it just didn't make the cut. So it made it into here, which that's good enough for me. So those just slide right into the pocket, and it works out really, really nicely. I like it. So then while at Ollivander's, we each couple got a wand. So we walked around the park and did all of the like magic tricks, which was really fun. Again, the Magic Begins Now is from the Kelly Perky Making Magic stamp set that's not available anymore. But this, the Expecto Patronum, is from In a Creative Bubble. And again, there's another one of those, what is it called? Illustrated Faith. It's an Illustrated Faith tab that I stapled on. And also this background I made with digital stamps from In a Creative Bubble that just say, today was truly magical. When you flip it up, there's my journaling card. There's the boys doing some magic. And we've got just some journaling about, you know, performing magic and how cool that was. This card is also in a creative bubble. Most of the stuff in here is just, it's just easier to work with it. So then we rode on the Hogwarts Express. This page back here, it's literally just a 4x8 page that I cut in half and I put at the top of the book here. That is a Freckled Fawn page. I love mustard color and it's awesome. And then this photo I printed just slightly larger than 4x8 so that it would cover a little bit of the paper, so you wouldn't know that this paper doesn't go all the way to the bottom. This platform 9 3/4 came from that stamp set again. And then this one I did the right way, and these all come out. So I've got these like shipping tags, but on the backs of the shipping tags, I added more photos. So there's like my brother-in-law and sister-in-law going through the wall. There's a picture of King's Cross Station, and then a picture of us on the train. So those little guys just slide right into the back of this photo, just like that. And then this one also comes out, and that is all the journaling, which isn't a ton. It's just a little bit of journaling about being on the train. So that card is in a creative bubble. And these shipping tags came from the Studio Calico Traveler's Package, whatever, travel kit from last year. Nope. So then we got off and we were in Hogsmeade. So we took the iconic picture in front of the Hogwarts Express that they've got there. I've got this one of Dumbledore's army that was stamped on, again from the 9 3/4 stamp set. And then I talked about getting butterbeer. This is in a creative bubble. This background, again, I made myself using digital stamps, and I did it green and yellow to represent Aaron and me. So we've got green for Slytherin and yellow for Hufflepuff. It's kind of like a brownish yellow, but that's okay. I don't mind. Then we've got going to school, going to Hogwarts. So this is again in a creative bubble 3x4 journaling card that I altered to make a full page 4x8. And just talking about going to Hogwarts and a picture of me with the boy. And then afterwards, Erin and I just took like a selfie in front of the night bus. We wanted somebody to take our picture, like a good picture by the night bus, but there were these other people just hanging out, having like a photo shoot, taking forever. So we're like, whatever, let's just take a selfie and get it over with and move on. This page right here is from Freckled Fawn. And then again, this is in a creative bubble, wouldn't you know? And these little icons came from this stamp set again. So, like I said, there is the one at Kelly Perky right now. I got it because it's amazing and it needed to happen. So then, in addition to Harry Potter, we're also big Marvel fans. And so we were excited to get over to the Marvel Universe section of Universal. And we are a Spider-Man family. Like, Erin loves Spider-Man and Izzy loves Spider-Man. We love Spider-Man. He's a good superhero. So this paper right here is from Freckled Fawn. And when you get their papers, you get 2 of each one. So there is another pattern on the back side of the stars. But I preferred to use the stars as the whole thing because I thought it made a better impact. Then, I did a couple of stamps on here. This is a picture. I put this little heart here so you know to look there. This is Erin and Alex like fist pumping the air that they're in Marvel. And then this is just another journaling card from In a Creative Bubble that came from one of the travel sets. And Spider-Man down here is actually our key card from the hotel. We stayed at a Universal hotel, so I fussy cut him out and put him on there because that's awesome. It was like serendipitous that we ended up with Spider-Man. And then this page, we got like one more photo in front of Hogwarts on our way out. And it's really good. So again, I made it bigger. And then I took another journaling card from In a Creative Bubble and altered it to just make it this tiny little bit. And it gave me 5 spots to put some different highlights from our time at the park. So that's just highlighting the park. This up here where it says the Wizarding World of Harry Potter came from a tag of an item that we purchased in the park. So again, I fussy cut it out and it just fit perfectly over the castle. It's like it was meant to go there. So it worked for me. And that was the end of our day at Universal. That night we went out to dinner to celebrate the boy's birthday. So this is the mariachi band who came over to our table to sing to them, which apparently they don't normally do that, but because, it was twins and they were excited that it was twins' birthday, they came over and sang for us. And then I used this from, so this paper, whatever, is from Freckled Fawn, and then this one is from, I actually can't remember if this is In a Creative Bubble or if this is Feed Your Craft. Either way, I altered it so that I could put the photo at the bottom. And another funny story, Caitlin and I got the boys bundt cakes for their birthday and candles, and we didn't have anything to light the candles. So let me see if I can put this up here and if it'll focus. So the flames that you see on their candles are emojis. And we thought we were so funny to put fire emojis on there. I don't know, just ridiculous. So that is the end of the first book. The second one documents our next day, which was at Disney. So this paper right here came from In a Creative Bubble. She's got a card set that is Disney themed. So that's where this one is from. And then the stamp set is from Elle Studio. I think it's just called Dated, the stamp set. Okay. So then inside, the first one is a picture of Erin and me and Jonah with Pluto. And this is like, oh, it's so cute. The only reason we ended up taking this picture is because Alex and Caitlin downloaded like an app on their phone in order to get into the park, and it somehow messed up, and it took like an hour, maybe even more than an hour, for them to get into the park because like their tickets were messed up, and it was just a complete fiasco and not a great way to start the day, but we got this cute picture, so at least there's that. And then, and this over here is in a creative bubble, the paper. The magic is in the details. And then this, I did the same thing. So I had it where it opens up so you can see the map. The only park we went to was Epcot. We didn't have enough time, or it was already an expensive trip, so we didn't have enough time to make it to the other parks. Someday we will, because for me, every park has like things that I love about it. And so, yeah, I just would really like to go back. But my sister-in-law has never been to Florida before. So she not only had never been to Universal, but she's never been to Disney. She's never been to Florida. So this was like a really big deal. And the park that she really wanted to go to was Epcot. So we made sure that we went to Epcot. Someday she will make it back to all the other ones too. I know it. So what else can I tell you about this? So yeah, so I got this map. I just printed it off from online, made it fold out for the same reason, because things are changing. Actually, things are like massively changing at Epcot. So this will be kind of cool to look back on in years to come. And then this stamp is from Elle Studio. Okay, next. So then I made a page for every country that we visited, because the main reason we went to Epcot was to go around the World Showcase. So we stopped at Canada first, which for us, we always start with Canada and end with Mexico, because Mexico is our favorite country, and Canada, it's not that it's our least favorite, it's just we live in Michigan, so Canada is like our neighbor. So it's not super different for us than what we already live with. So like Canada and USA are both kind of like I guess they're not as exciting because we already know a lot about them. But we still went, and we got every place that we went, we got one drink, and we shared it I think each couple got one drink, and we shared them amongst the four of us, which is the way to go if you're going to like get drinks and go around the world. We did like a funny telephone pose. We had some stranger take our picture and had fun with it. And then the Canada paper that you see here, journaling card, is in a creative bubble. She has a whole set that's all about Canada. Then we went to London, again in a creative bubble, has a whole like England, London set, and I used that to make both of these, came from that. We have a picture in front of the I think it's called Rose and Crown, maybe. We love going to London because all four of us are also really big Doctor Who nerds. So it was fun to like go in the shops and see all the Doctor Who stuff, and that was very good. Then next stop was Paris. The stuff is all from In a Creative Bubble again. She's got a Paris set. If I could find a country set by In a Creative Bubble, I purchased it, and that's what I used. There were a few that she didn't have, so I had to like improvise. So we went during the flower festival. So you'll see a lot of like topiaries from when we were there. So there's Florida. Then we went to Morocco. So like Morocco, there's not a set about, so I just found something that I felt color-wise like went with it. I have these tiny photos of the two boys and the two girls in front of this fountain. This is still from In a Creative Bubble, just a different set. And then like a travel set. And then I did a vellum embellishment just because sometimes if you stamp on a photo, it blends in too much. So to make it pop a little bit more, I stamp it on vellum and then put it onto the page. And I've got Explore Today's Gift. This fountain. Morocco is super cool. Like the architecture in Morocco is one of my favorites. It's just bright and colorful, and I love it. Then we went to Japan. Japan was one that we were all looking forward to because we like anime and mangas and video games and all that stuff. So Japan has this awesome store, like shopping, that you can go in and you can get all of that stuff and look at it. It's really fun. My husband and my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law are all super big sushi fans. I'm really not. I tried it and I've tried it multiple times and I just can't. So we went to like a special dinner in Japan and got sushi for the boys, and I just get like tempura vegetables or whatever. But they loved it. They said it was super good at the restaurant. This is a picture of one of the buildings that my sister-in-law took. She's super great at taking pictures of architecture. And then the little bits and pieces are again from In a Creative Bubble. This stamp came from a Future Craft stamp set. I think it's probably that City one again, either City or Local Living, one of them. And then just a selfie of myself. Then we went to USA, and I literally have like, you know, we took a picture and then we left just to prove that we walked through it. Because again, it's like we live in the United States, so it's not as exciting. Next, I documented our visit to Italy. I know that this set is not available anymore in a Creative Bubble, but that's where it came from, this one in Rome. I took this square right here and I copied it and pasted it below so that I had almost like a frame for my picture. And then these little pieces I used from cards, like I made embellishments out of them. This is from the In a Creative Bubble City stamp set. Let's see. I'm going to look really fast and see if I can figure out what that stamp set is called. City Loving. That's what it's called. City Loving. Okay. Then we went to Germany. Germany was really cool too for a couple reasons. And also really familiar. So here in where we live, we've got like a German village. It's north of us, it's like a 30 to 45-minute drive away. It's called Frankenmuth, and it basically is a little German town with restaurants and shopping and all the things. So this is very much like Frankenmuth for us. But they are also, you know, Germans are known for their beer, and we are beer fans, so we were excited for that. And they had like this tiny little village with trains. It's so cute. Yeah, it was really cool. So this is the boys, like, yeah, we're about to go into I don't even know what to call it. It's not a tavern. I forget what they call it. The beer garden? Beer garden. And then just a picture of the city, you know. This, again, In a Creative Bubble. Okay, so then there is like this African outpost. So it's debatable if the African outpost is considered a country in the World Showcase or not. There's not really a lot there. It's like a food cart and whatever. But there was this really cool topiary of Rafiki holding up Simba. So we snapped a picture of that and moved on, basically. This back here, this pattern that you see where it says Choose Adventure Always, was a stamp set from Studio Calico. I think it's just called Explorer. And I stamped it on an angle over and over again using a green archival ink. And then I had some like papers that I could back with. It looked really cool. And this card is from In a Creative Bubble. And this is also a Studio Calico from Explorer too. I think these both came from that. Next on our trip was China. This picture is one of my favorite pictures from the entire trip. Like, it was so cute. And when we were taking this, I swear, like, so many people flocked around us to, like, I don't know, ooh and ah and, you know, like, goo goo gaga over Jonah, because he's, like, so cute. He's such a chunky boy. Like, it was great. So we got a picture here, and that was fun. And then this background paper came from Freckled Fawn. I stamped China on there just so that we knew where we were. And then this, I only taped the sides and the bottom so that I could put some extra photos in there. We did get a chance to like go snag a picture with Mulan. She was just like randomly by the pond and nobody was by her. And we're like, are we allowed to come over there and get a picture with you? And she's like, yeah, come on over. And she was very in character. It was super great. And then we got a picture of like the China building. Like this building is so pretty. It's so pretty. Again, my sister-in-law took that picture. She's really got a talent for taking pictures of architecture. Then we went to Norway, and my sister-in-law took a picture of me, and I was just being funny, and I had no idea that they were doing this in the background. Like, it's so stinking cute. I love this picture. This paper came from Freckled Fawn. The journaling card is in a creative bubble. And then down here, I've got two other photos. Let me pull this up again so you can see that bottom one. This one, we were like totally joking around and like, hey, how funny would that be if we posed like we were throwing Jonah into the waterfall? And we did, and we had a fun time with it, and it was super silly. So we did not actually throw him in case you were worried. He's totally fine. And then our last stop in World Showcase was Mexico, which of course is one of our favorites. Number one, because you go inside the pyramid to go to the city, and that is so cool. And number two, because my husband and his twin brother are half Mexican, so there's some like heritage-ness to it. And it was just really fun. So we got a picture of the pyramid on the outside. I stapled on some acetate hearts from Studio Calico. And then this one pops open again with a card from In a Creative Bubble. It actually was all white. I just took like the purple from my hat and colored just the outside to give it some like pop. And then I've got a picture of us in sombreros. And then over here on this page was us outside the pyramid, and then just a picture from inside so you could see what it looks like. Then we took a picture on our way out, like leaving the park. One cool thing about going when we did is that the fireworks show, which was Illuminations, it was the final year for it. So it is no longer Illuminations. It's something new now. So it was cool to go back and see it again one more time before it changed. Down here, I've got this Mickey 2019. That was, again, from something we purchased. I just fussy cut it out and put it on there. These are from an In a Creative Bubble, the, like, what do I want to call it? The Disney theme. And I just used my eyedropper and recolored them so that it would blend in with this page. I've got another journaling card from In a Creative Bubble that just talks about exactly that, watching the illuminations and leaving the park. So then the last thing we did, the last day we were there, we debated going to Animal Kingdom, which would have been really fun, but after 2 days at parks with a, gosh, what would he have been? October, November, December, January, February, March, April. He would have been like 8 months old. With an 8-month-old was a lot. So we're like, why don't we just relax at the pool, hang out at our hotel, and then go to Disney Springs for dinner. So this is us at the pool. They got like free birthday drinks. The poolside stamps right there, they are stamps that I turned into embellishments, is from Studio Calico. I think it was called Beach Bound. And then this pops open, and this is a map of our resort. That, does it have where we stayed? No, it doesn't, but in here it does. So it's just a map of our hotel, a little bit of journaling, and then this was an envelope that our key card came in. So I threw that on here. So there you go. There's like where we stayed exactly. And I threw extra pictures in there. So I've got like the boys, all three of them, in the pool. This was an image I found online. That's just the outside of the hotel. That was an image from online of what our room looked like when we stayed, and the setup of our room. There's a picture of Jonah out by the pool. I love this picture. It's so funny. And then a picture of the boys being silly, drinking their drinks. So it just gave me some room to put some extra pictures in here for, you know, for funsies. And then this paper here is from Freckled Fawn, and I loved the retro feel because this hotel is like super retro, like almost kitschy. I don't know. It's a super cool hotel. Then we went to Disney Springs, and the only pictures I really have from there were from the Coke store. We went to the Coke store to go up on their roof and have Coke floats. Coke flights. So my sister-in-law and brother-in-law got a Coke float flight. So they had like 6 or something different Coke floats. Man, that's hard to say. It's a tongue twister. Erin and I got the international one. It was okay. It wasn't like, I probably wouldn't do it again. But I kept the envelope that had like all the information for it. And that opens up in here. And then this tells like what they all were, which is fun. So like, there's what we tried. And you know, it was interesting. And then that just folds right back up and goes like that. And then the last page here is us flying home and talking about how the flight went and all that stuff. This en route is again from that flight themed stamp set from Studio Calico, and this is from In a Creative Bubble. Did I notice? Oh, this back here is a stamp set from Allie Edwards. It was, I want to say April stories by the month, and I just repeat stamped it all over there with this lighter blue to match the sky. It turned out cool. And then the very last page is again that highlights. So you noticed I had it here. Let's pull it back open. I had it here like really small, and then here I added it again for the end of the trip just to summarize what the highlights were for us. And that is my Florida. So these two together document our whole trip, and they go in this, and that's that. So if you guys have any questions about any of the products, I will try to link what I can in the description below. So if you have any questions about anything, please let me know. And I hope you guys, you know, maybe have found some inspiration to get your own albums done. I know a lot of people told me that they're working on Disney albums or need to work on Disney albums. So hopefully, you know, you guys feel some motivation to break into it. Until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.